Hello again, Mitchell.
Hello. Can you tell us it's like we're at a different time.
Yes. Have you watched the new video by Tyler Berryman, the Imagination? Red
Yes.
Bull? Those jumps
Are freaking large.
how's Darren Durham overshooting? I watched that and that scared me that much. I thought Darren Durham was dead.
I don't know how he went so long.
I don't know.
He's got pinned
It
it.
was insane. He hit it like he was jumping a sand dune. But
Yeah.
it was a steep lip. And when he overshot it, he must have overshot it by like 40 feet.
How's the wheel? The wheel is just
That was insane.
so lucky.
It's funny looking at YouTube comments, people are like, that's why you don't use aftermarket stuff. It's like, no wheel's going to handle that.
No wheel is going to handle that.
And Darren Durham's not small.
That's why you don't use aftermarket stuff.
Yeah,
You
because
don't use aftermarket wheels. Or just a stock wheel would survive.
Stock.
A stock wheel, you'd be
Made
picking
out of plate.
spokes out of your chin.
Exactly. But when he overshot it, like, I saw the clip and I thought, is that Photoshop? I genuinely, like, the way you see, I think Tyler Barron was in front of him, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was
going
getting
away.
towed in.
Yeah, and you see him...
It's
going-
just like he's going the same speed and then he's just like,
Yeah, it's like it's towed in and he's like, I'm not going to button off, I'm just going to shift up. Like, just before the lip, and he just went that far. It was insane. So,
yeah. And then Vicky Golden was heavy in that too. She rode so...
She was awesome.
She broke her foot, I think, landed hard on one of the jumps. But
those jumps, like, I watched that and that looked absolutely insane. That was a really good
super cool
few videos. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And just
love
even
stuff.
like, it's cool that they showed you like how it got built and everything, like all
It,
the time they
starts
spent.
that basic paddock, but what I liked is it all started from a basic paddock, but it started off showing all the jumps, so you know it's already going to be awesome, and then it shows from the bare paddock and how they scrape it up. It was
very
awesome.
a lot of cool lines in there, like a lot of really trailing
There was, a couple of like lines where people are doing like Kevin Windham transfers from like a berm to another berm and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
like shark fin stuff. Like,
That was one of the coolest videos I've seen in a really long time. I knew you'd be all over it.
Yeah,
so-
no, that was awesome. There's been a few good ones lately, like the Dennis Edison Bands one. You haven't seen that one yet.
No,
that's a
yeah,
good
for
one.
sure,
I'd recommend you watching that at some point.
And like I was saying to you before, like you've seen it as well with Brandon Semenuk, that Raw 100 mountain bike clip.
Yeah.
Like that was seriously so good. Like I watched that and I'm like, I think I want a slopestyle bike. I can't do anything, but I'm just like, I'm too fat and old to ride a BMX. I'm like,
They look fun, those
yeah,
things, yeah.
they look like a lot of fun. And I've been messaging a couple of mates of mine who ride mountain bikes and that sort of stuff. And a mate of mine rides downhill and he rides BMX and moto as well. And he's the one who's actually got those forks that are over there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, slopestyle bikes look like they'd be a lot of fun. He goes, I haven't ridden one. But he goes, they'd be perfect because it's like, it's not... Because, BMX is handled completely differently to the way a moto does. Whereas a good downhill bike feels sort of halfway between.
Yeah.
And I feel like a slopestyle bike would probably feel a bit more stable, just with the bigger wheels and that sort of stuff. I feel like it'd be a bit more stable than a BMX.
Especially if you're not, because I think with BMX you got to ride it a lot to get comfortable.
You do, but...
Like to feel comfy, you need to ride a lot.
But when we were going to Listerfield and riding a bit of downhill and that sort of stuff, like, I'd never done it before, but I felt comfy sort of straight away. I think having that 150mm suspension travel sort of makes it a bit easier too.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
You had a hardtail, so that was a bit different. But
that was right.
Yeah,
with
but,
no front brakes.
Yeah, exactly. Completely not for that sort of stuff.
Nah, but fine.
But I watch those clips and I'm like, have you seen the one of what's his name? The German dude. He's German, and he's riding through his house. His house is all quarantined.
Oh, that the trials dude.
Fabio Wilmer. Yeah, Fabio Trials dude.
Yeah, that's cool too.
That's awesome. Like the stuff he's doing in that is just insane. Like there's been a lot of good videos coming out. How good is it with things like Red Bull and that sort of stuff? Just free content all the time.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like,
it's stuff you never had that back
you know
in the
what?
day.
How weird is it to
Makes
think
you fucking lazy though. Like, you should not be watching that shit. You should be doing it
But
yourself.
how weird is it to think that it's an energy drink company that is the best extreme sports provider on the planet?
Yeah.
When you think about it, like, between Red Bull and Monster Energy, like those two channels on YouTube, there is so much stuff that you can watch.
Well, there's Red Bull TV.
Yeah, Red Bull TV.
They've got their own fucking channel.
The Red Bull TV app on Apple TV. Like, my kids get up and they'll be like, oh, should we watch TV? Like, they'll check out the Red Bull TV app before they'll check out Stan for, like, new episodes of Hey Dougie and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they'll watch that and it's just so much. It's like... It's a bit. They have a lot of like beatboxing contests and
like
break
crazy Red
dancing
Bull
and,
shit. Yeah.
and some stuff. It's a bit cringy, but I'm like also. Some of the people into that are probably like, more moto stuff. Like, they don't care. Like,
Yeah.
But again, I could ask you your money back for the free content.
Yeah,
you get.
exactly, for the free channel. You know what I did pay for, though?
Yeah.
Which is the sickest BMX DVD in a long time.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the Fast and Loose? Have you heard of that? The Fast and Loose BMX DVD?
Which is on Red Bull TV for free. Oh, no, that's Go Fast Pull Up. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. What's Fast and Loose?
So it's like, Chris Fox,
Yeah,
Matt Cordova,
Mm.
Corey Walsh, all that crew.
Mm.
They did like a video. There's bowl rats, there's bowls.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Like, it's old school. Like, me and my chick, we had to find set the DVD player up and shit. Because
really?
No one's got DVD players anymore.
Jeez,
like,
I threw out so many DVDs the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's so. It's like a throwback, and we're like fucking around trying to like with those stupid like the. What do they call it? They're not HDMI cable, like the fucking
AV cable.
the full AV cable, like old school
good,
DVD setup. So yeah, that was that DVD is one of the cool ones.
Yeah, that's cool. I wonder when DVDs are going to be cool retro, if they ever will
I
be.
think they are now.
Are they? No, they're retro, but are they cool retro? Are they the sort of thing?
Well, I thought it was cool, like to watch a DVD again. And then I also bought the Creedence DVD. Where they go on the Ridge or whatever.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
No.
Right, Charles and Sons.
Yeah, I'll have to check that. But yeah, I wonder if DVDs will ever actually be cool again. Like,
they'll come back.
Guess what I found inside the other day when I was getting rid of some DVDs and that sort of stuff. I don't know why I bought them. Back when I had my shop, for some reason, I went on a mission to collect old Nintendo cartridges.
Oh yeah,
like, not Super Nintendo, but like Nintendo NES cartridges. And I found like a few NES cartridges that I bought, like the Adventures of Link with like the gold cartridge and that sort of stuff. I didn't even know why I bought them. I think at the time I was getting them off eBay for like $4 and that sort of stuff. It was worth nothing at the time. And I look at it now, I'm like, I should have bought hundreds of those things. I should have bought everything. Well, I'm sure there's a million people out there that are actually collecting them and doing it properly and that sort of stuff, but it's probably like going to be worth a bit. It's like in the box and that sort of stuff. It's pretty cool.
Like everything. Oh, did I tell you I bought a new car?
You sent me a picture. I haven't seen it, but you sent me a picture.
Dude, I bought my first ever V8 car.
Yeah, V8's good. Dude. It just feels good.
And the best thing was I sold my van.
Yeah.
And the guy, I don't know why, it was like when COVID kicked off. And like, I sold my van, I put my van for sale for like, it was an iLoad. Like, I was like, it's done like, I don't know, 360,000 K. Like, it's been around the clock.
Did you fix the headlight load before selling it?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I like put it up and like, geez, I was dreaming. I was like, maybe I'll get like, I'll put it up for 7.5 and I'll see if anyone takes it.
Yeah.
And it was like 40,000 Ks overdue for a service. And I was at my mum's house at the time, and my stepdad goes, so I put it up for sale. I just took a couple of photos, chucked it on Gumtree. I had like 5 calls.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, the other guy's like, oh, mate, if dude doesn't come and get it,
yeah.
I sold it the next day for $7,500.
Jesus.
And then, and my stepdad's like, I'll have a quick, because I was out doing something else, and I'm like, I'll just leave it there, and then you sort it out. And he's like, all right, no worries.
Yeah,
he's like, I'll just check the dipstick, and I think I had no oil on it or anything. Like, and he's like, I found some old sump oil and just put it in there.
Well, like I might have told you when I was working in that trade, like those Hyundai motors, not only are they hand grenades, but they're worth a fortune to replace as well.
Yeah, they're
and that's what I kept saying to you. I'm like, just bring it over. I'll service it for you. And you're like, nah.
No, it'll be fine.
Oh, God, no.
And then, so I got rid of that thing, and then, because my workshop manager at work, he's like, been bugging me, he's like, get a fast cost, get out of this, don't worry about this stupid, just get a ute. And I'm like, fine, I'll get one. So, I sold that thing for 7.5, and I just like, walked into this VYSS ute for 7.5.
Yeah.
So it was pretty much a straight swap.
Yeah,
Things
exactly.
done like fucking 150,000 less
K's.
Oh my god, the thing's beautiful. It's got leather interior. The guy that had it was...
I had a VZ SS that had the leather interior and stuff.
Yeah, man, it's so nice. Yeah. It's so sweet.
I was an idiot because I bought it new and then thrashed the absolute crap out of it and then sold it for nothing because I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
That's when I was young and stupid. So I think I was like 22 when I bought it or something like that. Just by age 22 and then basically hold it on the rev limiter until you sell it. So it's just stupid, but it's like, it's a bit of fun.
But man, and then I check on like car sales and stuff, and you can't find one for under 15 grand.
Manual or auto?
Manual.
Manual. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
See,
it's got a 6-speed manual.
Yeah,
like
like-
the whole. That's perfect. Everything.
yeah, that's good. See, the thing is, like, it's already depreciated to the extent that it will. Now it'll probably go
Now
up
it's
in
starting
value.
going up. Yeah,
So everyone
so
wraps them around trees.
I
and
love
stuff.
that thing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
That's good.
Man.
It's awesome.
I mean, it's just like it's a 2003 model SS coming, but it's like
It's like
baby.
235 kilowatts. or
Like I
something
think, like
that.
I wouldn't even trade it for like a new Commodore SS.
Yeah.
As dumb as that is,
Yeah,
but
it's
I love it.
If you like it, that's all that matters. It's
It's my
like,
baby. I put a little S&M sticker on it, so you know,
yeah, good. It was like when I had my WRX, the rally car. Like, that thing was so beaten up. It was like my YZ.
Dude,
but-
that thing as well. We shouldn't have sold that.
Yeah, no. Oh, no, actually, it was trashed by the time I sold it.
Oh, was
the
it?
whole thing was twisted like a propeller because we were jumping it.
Dude, even Jack cars as well, man. Like,
Oh, they're worth a fortune. It's insane.
I remember, yeah, when I was like in my early 20s, I was like, oh, I might get a 180 or a 200 SS.
Yeah, they were worth about $1.50, and now they're
And
worth
I'm like,
a
now they're
fortune.
worth and you look at them, they're just like, oh, I got it.
Yeah. Dude,
And look at them now, and they're worth a bomb. And it's
Dude
like,
at Work's just built like a 600 horsepower 180 SX, and that thing's probably like a $40,000 or $50,000 car. It's worth so much, and it's actually clean.
10
and
years ago, it would have been like
Yeah.
6 grand.
It's clean and unmolested. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, this car's so clean. And he's like, yeah, I never want to get rid of it because it's just perfect. Where all the other ones out there have all been destroyed. So
Yeah, they got like weird coloured bumpers and shit.
I talk about this sort of stuff with the old man. I talk about it with Haley sometimes. Like, I've had 4 RGV 250s, and I was buying them for like $700 a pop, and I'd ride them, did a track day here and there, and then pulled them apart and sold them in bits. And I'm like, got like $4,000 for the bits out of it, and I'm like, it's a fair bit of work to part a bike out on eBay and that sort of stuff. But I was like, oh, I got $4,000 out of it. Each one of those bikes is worth over $10,000 now. Like, if I had the coin to just
Hold
let
on.
it sit there, like that's like my YZ. It's worth so much more now than it was 2 years ago. Because
Mate,
two
the
strokes
price of
gone up
second-hand
all the
bikes
It's
is
insane.
ridiculous
It's
now.
ridiculous. Like, I'll never sell that YZ for the $3.50 I'll get for it. I might as well just keep it. But then I'm like, a few years' time, it might be worth a bit. Like, I
Yeah.
don't care that much about what it's worth, but I'm like, it's just, things like that are just going to keep going up now. Like, it's just, they've
Yeah.
depreciated the most they can.
And now it's it.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's crazy. Crazy times, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of something else to talk about instead of talking about
Oh.
old cars and bikes.
Dude, I rode BMX for 7 hours legitimately at
Really?
Melbourne Park on
Jesus
Saturday.
Christ. Stuff
And then I
like
rode yesterday, and then I rode this morning.
Jesus Christ.
I've
You've been,
been putting in.
you've been riding a lot.
Yeah, I haven't been running anymore because I've just been riding all the time.
Oh, if you're riding a lot.
It's so, dude, it's so good that my chick rides too.
Yeah, that makes it big.
And she's getting after it, man. Like she's like bombing off stairs and
Good.
doing all crazy shit.
Yeah.
She
that's awesome.
she did have a fucking pretty gnarly crash though.
Yeah.
She like hit a scooter kid like coming out of a bowl and then
Yeah.
like fell back in and like landed on her head.
Oh,
She had like full concussions.
Oh, Jesus.
But I'm just alright now. But
Yeah, good. Always a good thing. I'm trying to think of what else. I've put a note in my phone that says runnings. Not running, but runnings.
What, plural?
Yeah, I don't think that means anything.
I need to be more detailed with my notes in my phone.
Yeah, you were saying you had some gibberish notes, didn't you?
Yeah, I have one that's like dogs like humans, people, and babies. And like, just...
Doesn't make any
Nah,
sense.
it made sense. Because I'm an idiot too. I'm like, oh yeah, that'll make sense to me forever. And it doesn't.
Yeah. Just one of those things, I guess.
Yeah, it's just gibberish.
Yeah.
Absolute rubbish.
Oh, you know how we had, about a month or two ago, we had a heap of high winds? There was a heap of winds and that sort of stuff. Like,
Oh, about the time I started a fire at my house. Yeah.
yeah. 2 of our fences fell down in the backyard.
Freebie.
Yeah.
Insurance job.
No, well,
You had to stand up again.
not to the extent, like the fences themselves were fine. It's just the posts had rotten out on the ground because what they do, they get, when they're building fences, because they just do it on such a budget, they dig a hole in the ground and put basically like a cup full of concrete in the bottom of it,
Yeah.
put the stick in there, and then just backfill it with dirt. So it was all just backfilled with dirt, so there's just dirt against the wooden post and they'd all just rotten through at ground level. And I dug down and I couldn't find any concrete on 2 of the posts. So I spent 3 weekends in a row digging new post holes and replacing fence posts and that sort of stuff. But it was, I got a quote, because there's a fair bit of fencing on this joint. It was going to be $10,000 to replace the fences.
What?
Yeah. Because like from the front right along
Oh,
there.
yeah, yeah.
And because that, well, that side was a bit rotten too. So I just got new posts and I actually got my chippy on and was like,
Nice. Tool belt?
yeah, no tool belt. So just pockets.
Not quite.
Stuff a hammer in your pocket. I did a lot of work replacing fence posts and everything, and the fence on that side over there had fallen over so far that I actually had to get like a hand winch and like take palings off and loop it around the wood and stand it up because the fence itself was in good condition. It was just rotten at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it cost $600 to fix instead of $10,000.
Did you charge your neighbours $300?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So,
just remember your house.
yeah, well, they're cool. Otherwise, it was going to cost them $5,000. Like they would have.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Well, actually, the neighbours on that
They
side.
give you a hand?
I didn't want them to. They offered to, but I thought about it. I'm like, as soon as someone else
I don't
tries
want to talk to you at all.
well, they're nice enough people, but as soon as someone else tries to put their 2 cents in, I'm just going to think they're an idiot and probably tell them they're an idiot. I thought,
you do have a bit of a god complex.
no. Haley even said to me, she goes, why don't you get them to help? And I'm like, I'd rather just do it, and that way I can just do it my way, instead of anyone else putting in their 2 cents. And it was just easier. And to be honest, it was actually quite fun, not fixing it, that was kind of boring, but working out, like, as I said, the fence had fallen over, and I couldn't push it up. It was too heavy that even a few people wouldn't have been able to push it up, so I got, like, the 1-ton hand winch, and I put some stakes in the ground, like, a distance away, and sort of spread the load across a couple because the ground was soft, and it was actually quite fun problem solving.
To try to knock it out. Yeah,
so I actually did that, and it's all perfect now, and they're rock solid. You hit them with a school bus, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But don't try that. But it was actually quite good fixing fences. I was getting my handyman on.
Dave's fencing.
And I realised I'm like, I don't own a circular saw, I don't own a claw hammer, I don't own anything like that. And I'm like, oh, I had to just go buy a heap of stuff.
Oh, did you get just bought all in his shit?
Oh,
had to, yeah.
Didn't have it, so didn't have. I borrowed a nail gun, but yeah, it was fun. And and even then, I'm like, all the fence palings. I was looking at it. I'm like, some fence palings have started to lift a little bit because they're just held in with nails. I'm like, well, screws are better than nails because screws have a thread. So I actually pulled nails out and I screwed all the fence palings to the cross beams as well. So like the fence is rock solid.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not going anywhere. I didn't need to do that, but I spent so much money on galvanized screws and that sort of stuff because I'm just like, but I was like, now it's done. Like we'll probably live here for another 5 or 6 years and then move somewhere a bit bigger because I really wouldn't mind a bit of property and that sort of stuff. I'm like, these fences will probably outlast the house now. Like they're rock solid. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. There you go.
Other than that, I don't think I've done much else. I had to fix the curtains today because Wes, the 5-year-old, Haley said this morning he was twisting himself up in the curtains, and she's like, "Don't twist yourself up in the curtains. A, it's dangerous, and B, you're an idiot. You're gonna wreck it." He's twisting himself up, and there's that much leverage when he's twisting himself up in the curtains that it just pulled the curtain rod mounts out of the wall. And she said she had a bit of a go at him. And then when I got home tonight, I'm like, part of me's like, "Oh, I can't believe you wrecked the curtains." But the other part of me's like, I get to fix something.
Yeah,
like,
you get to fix the
curtains. So I've got these little there's little metal inserts that I'm able to like wind into plasterboard that have like a 6mm thread inside them. And I stuffed around doing that, and I'm like, oh, it's actually fixed, and it didn't cost me anything. So
that's good.
It was fun.
Yeah, I worry about that thing. Little kids wrecking shit.
Louis C.K., the comedian, he said it the best. He goes, the difference between boys and girls, he goes, everything that boys wreck can just be measured in terms of dollars and cents. Like, boys will just wreck stuff. Like, the amount of things, like, it's a pretty nice house, but the amount of walls that have got holes in them and that sort of stuff so far because of the kids just bashing into things and that sort of stuff.
Riding bikes inside
yeah,
and shit, yeah.
But as he said, he goes, boys will, everything they damage can be measured in dollars and cents, but girls, he goes, they destroy your soul. He goes, they just get in and they do things that hit you, and then you'll be like 10 years later laying on a couch in a therapist's office just crying and that sort of stuff. And it's true. I've got mates with sisters and I've got nieces and that sort of stuff. I look at them, I'm like, oh, it's a different sort of kid. Like their kids would never, like Max had a good crash goofing around on his bike inside the house. Like his bike, it's too big for him to ride inside the house, but he was like bunny hopping off the step, and he stuffed up and nose wheelied over the bars, and an axle nut hit the architrave and that sort of stuff. And I'm like, oh, it sucks, but I'm like, you can just fix it. You can get some spack filler stuff and then paint it. It doesn't matter. Like, but with the boys, I know exactly what I'm going to get. Like, if they're tired, they might get a bit frustrated or whatever. I'm like, oh, let's just relax on the couch and just watch something or whatever. But I look at I've got mates with kids, daughters that are aged between like 2, and some of the daughters are like 9 years old, 10 years old, and that sort of stuff. And they manipulate. Like, it might be generalising a lot, but they said their daughters are already manipulating them and messing with their heads. And maybe they just can't handle it. Maybe the wives are fine, but the dads are just like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like, can't handle it. It's just there's just a lot of grey areas.
Well, it's a different thing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Like a different creature.
Yeah.
Well, at least like you can. Oh, boys are like, oh, I get that. That's like,
yeah,
you can like relate.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, at least like for me with Hayley, like my wife is very sort of straightforward and normal. She's just straight to the point. Like, if I do something stupid, she'll be like, "You're an idiot and you know it." I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm the first to admit that I'm an idiot," and that sort of stuff. But it doesn't play mind games. We get people, and I'm sure a lot of dudes probably do it too. People play mind games with their partners and that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
I couldn't think of anything worse. I'd rather just not beat around the bush.
Just suss it there. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So, what else been happening?
Well,
did you still have your little TTR 110?
the TTR, no,
Oh,
I
you
sold
sold
that,
that too,
but
yeah.
I have CRF 110.
Oh, you got a CRF 110, so you do
Yeah.
have another bike.
I have 110, yeah. Oh, I do have that, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to sell that too. I put it on just like on Instagram for $2,500.
Yeah.
I had 15 people message me immediately saying
Yeah.
sold, and I'm like, I freaked out. I was fucking deleted the
Put it on
post.
for like $5,000.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm like, oh god, I could fucking put it on Gumtree and try to sell it for heaps, but I don't know. I might as well just hang on to it. Like, the thing's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it doesn't take up much room, so yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not even at home. It's
Yeah.
it's my parents' joint, so.
Yeah. Well, that's why, because I've got...
I'm a bit like that. I don't really want to sell my shit unless I really have to.
Exactly. Well, I've got the little PW50 for the boys there, and I'll never sell it because it was a hand-me-down from my cousin. Like, I'm never going to sell it.
Yeah.
Like, in the future, once the kids are done with it and all 3 boys have ridden it, like, I'll give it back to them. I've still got all these original plastics. It's a 97 model. Still got all these original plastics up there and that sort of stuff. So I'll put it back to stock and new for him and just give it back to him when it's done.
Yeah.
And he'll be stoked on that. But I think next will be a KTM 50 for Max. Like,
You're going to be a motocross dad?
I don't know. I'll be like making him get some 20MX coaching for sure. But like, I don't know about a motocross dad, but I'd happily. That's why when I messaged you the other day asking about. That's right, because I forgot that I'd messaged you asking about like the mini bike tracks at like Park 4 and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And cruisings, and I'll take him there every now and again. But I want to. They've got a couple of mates who've got bikes, and I've got a couple of mates whose kids have bikes and they've got properties. I'm like, I'll set up some logs and some little jumps and things like that and let him have a play there. Like, I know the way Max is, because he's a BMXer, he doesn't necessarily care about going fast. Like, obviously he'll want to go fast, but I know he'll be like wanting to do little jumps and find little obstacles and do things. And I'll goof around with him and I'll teach him like some balancey stuff and things like that. Like, that's the fun stuff anyway, and that's going to build awesome bike skills. Like, if he wants to get faster, he'll get faster. Simple as that. But the balance
Basics
and
is where it
control,
starts.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it'd be really cool. But I'm thinking like a KO 50 SX because, like a CRF 110 or something like that. They're a bit quieter and a bit easier to ride, but they're not like an aggressive thing.
Yeah.
Where, because it's like I look at Max and Wes with their proper BMXs, because their BMXs are like proper BMXs. And go to BMX tracks and you see kids with like Kmart bikes and the geometry's all wrong. Like,
they've got like proper.
They've got like a really raked out forks and the frame's really small but the bars are really tall and the bikes are so twitchy. And you see kids. It's funny because Hayley's on board with the idea of the kids having decent BMX bikes because she said she'll see kids at skate parks and BMX tracks and they just brain themselves and you can tell it's entirely because of the bike. Like they'll lead into a corner and the forks all raked out and the bars are real high, like they'll just lose the front, just crash. And it's like their bikes don't work properly. They're unsafe bikes.
And it's better to ride a fucking good bike, man.
That's exactly right. And that's what I keep thinking with the kids with motorbikes. I'm like, if I go down the KTM 50 SX route and then once they're a bit bigger, like a 65
that's
SX.
Right, it's work good.
Yeah, a 65 SX will work just as good, if not better, as what I said. Like, it does everything. It's a proper bike. Yeah. It's a proper full-size bike. Just
what about those the 50
They're awesome, but they're $9,500.
Are they?
Yeah, they're like $9,000.
Right.
I'm all for it. I was like, oh, the KTM SX E5, like that's the bike for us. And I looked at the price, ooh.
Maybe not yet.
Yeah, like $9,000 for a mini
Need
bike.
to do a bit more mining in the Congo and get that lithium out.
Yeah, exactly
Drop
right.
that price down.
Oh, it's just, like, they're so good, those bikes, though.
Sick.
They look awesome. They'd be such a weapon.
I was spewing about Alta dropping out.
Yeah, I know. The Altas would have been so good. Like,
They were so
did you ever get
expensive,
to
though.
ride one? You didn't get to ride one?
Nah. I got a price on one there and they were astronomically
Yeah,
expensive,
like,
17
I
grand.
wanted one. And like I said, when the, remember there was the prototype CRF electric bike. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, I need to get that. But who knows what's going to happen.
Well, I'm sort of thinking, like, I won't even get another 450. I might get one of those, like, CRF 450Ls.
Really?
Like the road legal ones, yeah. Mod that thing and have that thing just cruising around.
Yeah, do it. Come for a play in the
Kind of
bush.
cool. I mean, I can... Oh, no, just like a road legal one.
Yeah, road
Just
legal
like
one,
motard it, yeah.
Well, I've been toying with like my next bike, moto I get will probably be an adventure bike because the old man's got his adventure bike and he loves it and that sort of stuff. But I don't know, I keep spending money on other things.
Yeah, that's good, man. It's fucking hard.
Yeah, we're gonna go on holiday in a couple of weeks' time now. The lockdown sort of finished.
Where to?
Oh, just at a place called Morong, just past Bendigo.
Oh, yeah. Back at Bendo.
Yeah. We booked it tonight. Yeah, now that you can actually, like, go more than 5Ks from your house, like, at the moment it's 25Ks.
How ridiculous was that rule? Who's checking?
They were checking around suburban areas.
Were they?
Yeah, they were checking around suburban areas. They were scanning number plates and that sort of stuff.
Really?
Yeah, they were onto it. You probably haven't seen that much.
Man,
'cause you
I'm
live in-
probably off at the ferries. I'm like, what the heck's fucking checking that?
Yeah, you live in the middle of nowhere. Like, it's 5Ks to your neighbour's house.
No, I mean, even like just cruising around because like, I didn't take it too serious. I was like, whatever.
Yeah. Like, because I live in suburbia and work in suburbia, I had to be pretty onto it all the time because it's just, there was a big cop presence. There was a lot of cops around.
Yeah.
And I was scanning number plates. Like, they got the auto...
Checking permits and stuff, yeah.
Well, they got the number plate scan that checks if a car's registered. And it was coming up with the postcode of people. So they're just scanning every number plate. If you're outside your little zone, they'd pull you over and go, where do you work? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. You had to have work permits and things like that. It was pretty intense, but it seems to have worked for them. See, in Europe and stuff now, they're actually doing the Victorian method of lockdown now to try and get out of it.
I don't trust it, man. It's fucking sketchy.
Yeah, well,
You know what I
it's
mean?
worked.
Huh?
It's worked.
Has it though?
Yeah.
Or has it just come out of flu season?
No, it's worked. I think it's worked. It's
Have we just come out of flu season though, Dad?
yeah, possibly. I don't know. But in summertime, that's when everyone's going to be around people doing barbecues and.
Well, the thing is as well, with this is where my theory comes in.
Here we go.
This might be a bit of a...
Here we go. Oh,
Dude,
tinfoil
straight
hat.
up.
Yeah,
Let me be very clear with you.
yeah.
At the last, however long fucking, it was been 8 months, I guarantee the last 2 months, there's been way less people caring about the rules and way less people following the rules.
Yeah, exactly.
And the numbers have started dropping.
Yeah.
Also, COVID-19, apparently, I've not done my own research, apparently vitamin D and zinc and vitamin C
Yeah,
are very
it's good
important to
for that.
have.
But
It also apparently dies in sunlight.
You know what the best thing about this whole COVID-19 thing's been? Did you watch the South Park Pandemic episode?
No. Wait, so what's that on? So
It's on 10play. Just go to 10play on a web browser and you can cast it to your TV. It's free to watch. You don't have to sign up.
It's on
for
10 Play.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was like, where is it? Like, because I checked Netflix and Stan.
No,
They have South Park.
it's not on those. Some of
They
those
don't have some new,
it's on 10play.
new series.
It's just one episode. They don't have the new season. It's just one episode. It's worth watching.
Yeah,
It's
for
just-
sure. I watched like a little bit of it.
I watched it and it
When
wrecked
they
me.
shoot, they shoot tokens.
Oh,
and they're
that
like,
bit,
yeah.
that bit
They're
wrecked
like,
me.
but we watched you shoot him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was because of
He's in the
COVID.
hospital because of COVID. You shot him. Yeah, because of COVID.
Because without COVID,
Yeah.
your normal teachers would be here, we wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't have shot him.
It's so good. It's